Today, we are diving into one of the most incredible stories in all of biology, the story of how every single one of us began. We're going to trace that amazing journey from two microscopic cells, each carrying a completely unique genetic blueprint, all the way to the very first moments of a new human life. It is a story all about precision, timing, and some truly mind-blowing biological marvels. So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the absolute building blocks of life, and then we'll explore the monthly rhythm that gets the body ready for a potential pregnancy. From there, we'll witness the incredible moment of fertilization, follow the embryo's very first journey, and wrap things up with the final, critical step that marks the true beginning of pregnancy, implantation. You know, it all starts with creating these super specialized reproductive cells called gametes. These are the carriers of our genetic legacy. The whole process is called gametogenesis, and it's basically the very first chapter in the story of every single one of us. Okay, so here's the key thing to get. Most of the cells in our body are what we call diploid, meaning they have 46 chromosomes. Gametogenesis uses this special type of cell division called meiosis to literally cut that number in half. This creates haploid cells with just 23 chromosomes, and that's absolutely crucial because it ensures that when the sperm and egg finally unite, the new embryo has the correct total of 46 chromosomes. Now, take a look at this flowchart. It beautifully lays out spermatogenesis, which is just the scientific name for sperm production. What you're seeing is a continuous 64-day journey from a single stem cell to 4 fully mature sperm, all happening deep inside the seminiferous tubules of the testes. Let's break it down real quick. It all kicks off with a diploid stem cell called a spermatogonium. Then, through meiosis 1, the chromosome number gets halved. After that, meiosis 2 results in 4 haploid spermatids. But they're not done yet. The final, crucial stage is called spermiogenesis, and this is where these simple, round cells transform into the streamlined, swimming sperm that we all recognize. And this is where things get really fascinating. You've got this incredible contrast. Male sperm production is like a factory that just runs continuously from puberty, often for a person's entire life. But for females, it's a totally different story. A female is born with all the eggs she will ever have. It's a finite supply that gets used up over time, until menopause, which happens around the age of 50. All right, so let's flip the script and look at the female side of things. While sperm production is this nonstop process, the female body prepares for pregnancy through this highly orchestrated, cyclical process we all know as the menstrual cycle. On average, it's about a 28-day cycle, and you can think of it like a 4-act play. It starts with the menstrual phase. That's followed by the follicular phase, where the uterine lining rebuilds and an egg matures. The climax, the main event, is ovulation, right around day 14, when that egg is released. And the final act, the luteal phase, is all about getting the uterus ready for a potential pregnancy. So what's the actual trigger for ovulation? Well, it's this really dramatic hormonal event. Right around the middle of the cycle, the pituitary gland just unleashes this massive surge of something called luteinizing hormone, or LH for short. This powerful signal is what causes the mature follicle to rupture and release its egg. The LH surge is really the linchpin of the whole cycle. And now we've reached the big moment. We have a constant stream of sperm on one side and a perfectly timed egg on the other. Fertilization is that one point in time where these two paths can finally cross, setting off this incredible race against the clock. Get this number in your head. 200 to 500 million sperms start the journey, but it is an absolutely grueling one. Most won't even survive the acidic environment of the vagina. In the end, only a tiny, tiny fraction, we're talking a few thousand at most, will ever make it all the way to the fallopian tubes to get a chance to meet the egg. The odds are just staggering. Fertilization is that one magical moment of fusion, usually happening in the fallopian tube. A single sperm manages to breach the egg's defenses. Their genetic codes merge, and boom, the full set of 46 chromosomes is restored. This new entity, called a zygote, is a single cell containing a brand new, completely unique genetic blueprint. But hold on, the journey is far from over. In fact, a whole new adventure has just begun. For the next week or so, this zygote is going to travel down the fallopian tube toward the uterus, and it's going to transform dramatically along the way. Almost right away, the zygote starts dividing in a process called cleavage. It's this rapid-fire series of cell divisions, but without any overall growth. So one cell becomes 2, then 2 become 4, then 8, and so on, until it forms this solid little ball of cells called a morula. That then develops into a hollow structure we call a blastocyst.
So, the blastocyst has finally arrived in the uterus. But what is it really? It's not just some random clump of cells, not at all. It's actually a highly sophisticated little structure with very distinct parts, and each part has a critical role to play in getting a pregnancy started.
So the blastocyst has three main parts. On the outside, you have the trophoblast. Think of this as the advance team. Its job is to burrow into the uterine wall and form the placenta. Then you have the inner cell mass. This is the precious cargo, the core that will actually develop into the embryo itself. And finally, there's the blastocele, which is a fluid-filled cavity that helps nourish that inner cell mass.
Okay, the blastocyst has reached its destination, the uterus, but it's not safe yet. It's just floating there. To secure its future, it has to perform one final, absolutely crucial act, implanting itself into the wall of the uterus.
An implantation is not a passive process, it's an invasion. First, the blastocyst has to hatch out of its protective shell. Then it latches onto the nutrient-rich uterine lining, called the endometrium, and actually begins to dig its way in. This is the moment that marks the official start of a pregnancy. And here we see what it's all been leading to. The blastocyst is now securely embedded in the endometrium, ready to tap into the mother's blood supply for all the oxygen and nutrients it's going to need to grow. You know, this whole thing is a precisely timed three-step process. You've got hatching, then attachment, and finally, invasion. This methodical approach ensures a strong, secure bond is made between the embryo and the mother, and it lays the foundation for the entire 9 months of development to come. So after implantation, those trophoblast cells grow these tiny finger-like projections called chorionic villi. They dig into the uterine tissue and they interlock, kind of like clasping two hands together. This connection creates what the textbook calls a structural and functional unit, which we know as the placenta, the baby's life support system for the next 9 months. And that's where we'll leave our story for today. Successful implantation marks the end of one absolutely incredible journey, and of course, the beginning of another, the 9-month odyssey of gestation. And what happens next? Well, that's an even more astonishing story. Thanks for joining us.